Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Absolutely Podcast, the podcast specifically designed to help women defeat diet culture and live their dream healthy lifestyle. In today's podcast episode, I'm going to be talking about 10 ways to actually speed up your metabolism. Because if we're being honest here, everyone wants a faster metabolism. I have never met a person that says, hey, you know what I really want is a slow metabolism. But most people are doing the exact opposite things of what you need to do to have a faster metabolism because what we have been taught in today's day and age, in today's society. And when it comes to fat loss, a lot of the things that people feel like they need to do are actually very damaging to their metabolism, which include under eating, overtraining, skipping meals, living in a very stressed out state off caffeine, having caffeine for breakfast, and then wondering why fat loss may feel impossible for them. So today I'm going to be giving you 10 things that will actually help to make your metabolism faster and make it work for you rather than against you. So I'm very excited to go into this today. This is literally my bread and butter. Program is literally called the metabolic makeover for a reason because metabolism is really at the root of how your body functions. It's not just how fast you lose body fat. It's actually a lot of different functions that your metabolism encompasses. So it is a very important thing to make sure that you are metabolically healthy because it affects so many different things in your body. So, very excited to chat more about that today. But before we get into that, we'll do a little weekly recap, a little bit of a high and low of the week, and then we'll get into the fun part of today's episode. But let's get into my weekly recap here. So, high of the week, it was my sister's birthday. She turned 24, so that was really fun. It's really fun to have two March birthdays back to back. My birthday is March 4th, her birthday is March 19th. So, it's fun to have a little bit of just like a birthday celebratory month, having two Pisces gals in the household. But we went to dinner for her birthday and it was so fun. Like, I just love having a dinner with my family. One thing about me is I am such a big family girl. I love spending time with my family. I love having family dinners and just having a lot of family time. I've always been like that, but I feel like as I get further into my 20s, I am more and more realizing how much family is literally everything and something that I really hold near and dear to my heart. So we went to a yummy steakhouse for her birthday, and that day I kind of like went a little bit rogue, honestly. I was planning on having like a full work day, getting a workout in, doing all this stuff. And I woke up pretty early in the morning because I hired cleaners to come to my house, which like has been a life changer. Just something about cleaning your own bathroom. Like I just can't get it clean to the extent that I want it to. And so I have this woman come once a month and she just cleans literally everything. But the only time she could do was 8 a.m. And so I said, you know what, 8 a.m., a little bit early for me, not because I'm not going to be up, like I am always up at 8 a.m., but to be completely cleaned, like my house completely cleaned, completely ready, breakfast, my dog's here, like I need to take him out of the house. Like it's just a lot to be completely ready for the cleaners at 8 a.m. I laugh about this now because growing up, we had some cleaners that would come to our house and clean. And my mom would always be like so panicked in the morning of the cleaners, like, we have to get these things ready. You have to get ready. And like, there was just a lot of commotion and stress on those mornings. And so now I've almost like become my mother on those mornings. I literally get so stressed out. Like I need to have everything done and ready to get out the door. And it's really funny how it kind of you always just turn into your parents. I was telling all that because they came over at 8. I just had like a lot of time to work that morning. I was like very just in the groove of things. I got all my work done. And then I was like, why don't I like go golfing? And I'm self-employed, so I can do whatever the heck I want, especially if I get all my work done in a timely manner. So I did that and then went to my sister's birthday dinner and it was so much fun. So that was probably the highlight of my week. Thursday, which was obviously Emma's birthday, but just like ended up being a really fun day and something that was very enjoyable. And I have to always remind myself that I make the rules for my own life. Like sometimes I get so focused in my routine that I forget to be like spontaneous at times and to be able to utilize the fact that I do work for myself. And I sometimes just get into this like very routine thought process of I need to be working like 9 to 5 like everyone else and whatever. And what I don't realize is that like I'm also working on the weekends. I'm also like on my phone at night. I'm doing all these things. I'm answering client messages. early in the morning or late at night. So I just have to remind myself that it's okay to be able to take an afternoon off every once in a while and use my self-employed business owning pluses to my advantage. So that was my high of the week. And then my low of the week was that it was literally over 100 degrees here in Phoenix last week. And I know talking about the weather is just the lamest thing to do ever, but I swear, like, it is so hot. I had forgotten like how hot it can get here. I went golfing on Saturday with some friends and I was so sweaty. I was reminded of like how miserable Phoenix can be in the summer. And so that was really fun, but it also just like was super hot. In March, it's very unheard of to have 100 plus degree temperatures. Usually March, it starts to get nicer, maybe like 80s, but nothing like 105 like it was on Saturday. Like that was just off the rails. I'm not excited for the summer here. I will say that. I feel like I get like reverse seasonal depression when it becomes summer here just because it's so hot to go out there. And it's not even like, oh my gosh, I'm so hot, so sweaty. You literally feel like unwell. And so you just try to not be out there that much. So I'm trying to strategically plan trips this summer and stuff to make sure I'm like out of town during a lot of the summer, just like go back to Utah or do something to get out of the house because it is literally crazy. But that was my high and my low of the week. And I don't really have a big favorite necessarily that's coming to mind this week. So I might have to skip the favorite for this week because I honestly just have nothing that I'm like, this is my favorite for the week. And that's okay. If we don't have a favorite, we're not going to try to press a favorite on you. So let me get into now the podcast episode subject, which is how to make your metabolism faster and 10 ways that we can do that. So the number one thing that you have to do to have a fast metabolism is to stop chronically under eating. How you get a slow metabolism is truly by under eating, over exercising, and consistently living in a spot where your body is in a calorie deficit, but then it eventually adapts. So that is actually your new maintenance. And this is where I see a lot of women, especially those that have been victimized by diet culture, get into this really crazy cycle is that they are under eating, they're over exercising, and they get to the point where they're like, I cannot eat over 1,200, 1,500 calories without gaining weight. And the reason for that is because of this metabolic adaptation that can occur. And so by under eating for years, you are putting your spot in your body in a spot of having your metabolism adapt downward, which of course will give you the effect of having a slow metabolism, which you don't want. It's a really hard thing to crawl yourself out of. And so by not chronically under eating, that will be something that really does help to speed up your metabolism. But we don't want to just take this advice and say, okay, I just need to eat more. I need to eat my maintenance calories, because a lot of people, number one, they will put on body fat if you just go from eating 1,200 calories to what your maintenance should be, like 2,200 calories. For instance, when I first started out my fitness journey, I had a slow metabolism because I had been under eating for such a long period of time. So my metabolism had down regulated to around 1,200 calories when I should have been maintaining at 2,200 calories. And now I'm maintaining at 2,200 calories because I did a reverse diet. I have a whole episode completely dedicated to reverse dieting. What is a reverse diet? How to know if you need a reverse diet, how to reverse diet. I definitely recommend you listen to that episode if any of the things that I am chatting about right now kind of ring a bell to you. But if you have been chronically under eating, you cannot be surprised when your metabolism is slowing down because your body is trying to survive. If you had a super fast metabolism and you were dramatically under eating, let's say like back in the olden days when there was a famine or something like that, your body's safety mechanism was to slow down your metabolism so you literally wouldn't like starve to death. And so nowadays your metabolism slows down from us under eating from diet culture or maybe from being on a GLP-1 or whatever. And that is what's slowing down our metabolism. However, that adaptation is still occurring and it's trying to keep our body alive. And so by chronically under eating, that is for sure slowing down your metabolism. And that's literally your body's survival mechanism. So we can't blame it. We can't be mad at it, but we just have to know that if you have been under eating for a long period of time, we have to stop under eating in order to have a faster metabolism, and do that through a reverse diet. That way you aren't putting on body fat rapidly back. Number two is we have to build muscle. Muscle is way more metabolically active than body fat, of course. And when you gain muscle, you actually are burning more body fat at rest. You're actually burning more calories. And that is something that is, of course, a huge plus of building muscle. Not only do you look lean and toned and stronger and you're able to do things, but it also burns more calories. And so if you literally just have more muscle tissue on you at rest, you are going to burn more calories. That's a super easy way to raise your caloric burn. Your body will literally burn calories doing nothing, which is amazing. But a lot of people maybe don't know how to build muscle, or they're not eating enough to be able to build muscle. And so that's something you really have to think about as well, of all of these things that I'm mentioning today and these 10 tips to fasten your metabolism, all sort of intertwined together. Because if one thing maybe you are doing but you're not doing another thing, for instance, if you're trying to build muscle but you're not eating enough food, your body probably isn't going to build the amount of muscle that you want, or is you're putting in all this work from your workout, so maybe you're not seeing that progress. And so building muscle is 100% though a non-negotiable for making your metabolism faster. And if you've ever met someone that has a good amount of muscle mass on their body, I'm not just talking like bodybuilders, but people that have a lot of muscle in their body, they probably are also people that you notice can eat a lot more. And there's a reason for that. It's because your body is burning more calories at rest. Number three kind of goes along with the first one of eating enough, but you also have to eat enough protein. So there's this thing that happens when you eat, especially like protein and fiber and things that are a little bit harder for your body to break down. And it's called the thermic effect of food. So when you are eating these things like high protein and high fiber, your body takes more energy to break these things down, which it takes calories actually to break down your food, which is kind of crazy. It takes calories to be able to process these calories, but it takes calories to be able to process it because digestion is something that takes calories and burns calories in your body. And so if we have a higher thermic effect of food and we're eating higher in protein, we're eating higher in fiber, you will actually burn more calories because your body is taking more time to digest it. So this will support your muscle. This will support your satiety. And protein isn't just for fat loss, it's also for keeping your metabolism going. So it's very important, and of course helps you to build muscle as well. Okay, number 4 is don't just do cardio and feel like that's something that is going to make your metabolism faster. Cardio is going to burn calories short term, whereas what we talked about before, that strength training is going to be able to build your metabolism long term. And so instead of just focusing on the short term of like, of course, when you do cardio, like you're kind of burning calories up front, long term, you're not going to be burning as many calories. So it's really important to remember and to remind yourself that yes, cardio is good for your heart. It's good for that, but it's not good for making your metabolism faster. And your body adapts to cardio pretty quickly. If you've ever been someone that maybe has not worked out for a while, or maybe you have started cardio and you realize, wow, like this is getting a lot easier. It's because your body adapts to the cardio. And just like with under eating, also overdoing the cardio is something that will cause your metabolism to adjust and to adapt. And so by really focusing on strength training and focusing on progressive overload and slowly doing more progressive overload every single week and upping your weights, upping your reps, you're going to see a lot more progress in your fitness journey that way rather than continuing to up your cardio. Like there is a cardio ceiling. Like you don't want to just continue to up your cardio to a point of just going absolutely crazy with cardio. You're not going to feel great with that. You're probably going to feel really tired, under recovered, inflamed, puffy. And so we have to focus on strength training over cardio, but really remind yourself that it's not just like a cardio game over here. And Number 5 is also just, in general, like don't overdo the cardio, but if you're going to do any form of cardio, I really agree with doing a step goal and having a step goal in mind. The reason for this is that when you just are burning calories throughout the day, steps are going to be something that is a lot lower impact and a lot easier on your body. And so if you're focusing instead of doing hours on the treadmill, of running or on the Stairmaster, if you're focusing on just like getting a few walks in per day or doing something a little bit more low intensity, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much more recovered. And so I really recommend having a step goal for yourself. Not only that, but it accounts towards your NEAT activity. So when it comes to burning calories, basically, I already talked about the thermic effect of food, but there's also exercise calories. So that would be something coming from maybe like a strength training workout or cardio. And then there's NEAT activity, which makes up most of your caloric burn throughout the day. So your NEAT activity is going to be anything that is non-exercise activity. So I kind of count my walks within that, because it's not like I'm going for a structured like workout walk. Like I'm just like jaunting down the street, or I'm doing a little walk and like on my phone or something like that. I like to count it towards that. I know there is an argument that people count steps towards like exercise calories. I personally don't. I think it's just like getting movement in and it's good for your body. And then the last form of burning calories is literally just like your body's overall function. So like your heart beating, you breathing, the things that you really can't control. If we can though manage the thermic effect of food, our exercise calories and our non-exercise calories, you'll be in a really good spot and really feel like your metabolism is a lot faster because you are focusing on augmenting those things. The next thing is sleep. Sleep is so important and is something that can either speed up or slow down your metabolism. So when we have poor sleep, we have hormonal disruption, which can cause your hunger hormones to be out of whack, your cortisol to be out of whack, which will, of course, increase your hunger and it'll make you have slower recovery. So you're probably not going to have as great of results from your workouts. And so making sure that you are getting proper sleep in is so important. And when I say proper sleep, I mean getting 7 to 8 hours plus per night, making sure you are sticking to a bedtime routine and really going to bed thoughtfully, getting off of your phone before bed, doing all of those things that is very important yet very hard to do. But sleep is seriously the backbone when it comes to any part of your fitness journey, whether you're trying to lose fat, whether you're trying to gain muscle, whether you're trying to increase your metabolism, heal your hormones. If you are not getting adequate, proper sleep in, it's going to feel like an uphill battle. So please focus on sleep. Don't sleep on, for lack of a better term, like the non-sexy things when it comes to your fitness journey. Because a lot of times when you're thinking about metabolism or whatever, it can feel very easy to focus on these like metabolism boosting foods or metabolism boosting workouts when people are neglecting their sleep, they're neglecting their stress management. And if you're doing all of those things and you are neglecting literally the basic foundation of just getting enough sleep in, you are not going to see the results that you want to see. So sleep like it matters, because it does matter. And that leads me into my next one, which is managing your stress. This is very underrated as well, but as we know, chronic elevated cortisol is going to impact fat loss. It's going to impact your energy levels. It's going to make you feel puffy, inflamed. It's not going to make you feel good. And so if your body is kind of constantly in this like fight or flight mode or constantly in survival mode, the last thing it's going to want to do is speed up your metabolism. Because again, think about back to caveman days or famine days. If you were being chased by a bear, the last thing that your body wants to do is speed up your metabolism. It's not going to say, hey, you know what? We want to build muscle right now. Hey, we want to lose body fat right now. No, the only thing it wants to do is survive. And so your body cannot focus on physique goals if it's constantly in this state of fight or flight and trying to just look out for the next crisis. So I really recommend making sure your sleep and your stress are very well managed if you want to have a faster metabolism. I notice that my clients that sleep well, manage their stress, they tend to see way better results, even if it's not even necessarily like seeing this crazy fat loss. It's like they feel better for their workouts. So then they build muscle, they feel less inflamed, they have less water retention. All of these things that make up a great physique, but we tend to sometimes forget about that these basic foundations of sleep and stress management are literally so underrated, but super, super, super important. The next thing that we have to do is make sure that we are eating consistently and managing our blood sugar levels. So basically, when we have irregular eating patterns, maybe you skip breakfast in the morning or you have a really high carb breakfast and you don't eat till 5 p.m. when you get off work, your blood sugar is going to be all over the place. And just kind of going back to our stress talk that we just had, when you are having blood sugar crashes, that's a lot of stress on your body. And when your body is getting the signals of, I'm not getting food and blood sugar is all over the place, going up and down and all around, you're going to struggle to see progress with your fitness goals. It's going to cause cravings. It's going to cause fatigue. And literally, skipping meals is not going to make your metabolism faster. I think a lot of times people think, well, if I skip a meal or if I fast for 12 hours at a time or 16 hours at a time or 24 hours at a time, I'm going to see these amazing results. When in reality, skipping meals, especially when it comes to women and their hormonal health specifically, it's going to cause a lot of havoc, especially with your hormones. So I recommend for women that are trying to have fitness goals that they want to have these physique goals to eat regular meals every 3 to 5 hours. Honestly, 3 to 4 hours is kind of where I find that sweet spot to be for myself, for a lot of my clients. But I definitely recommend working on your blood sugar. You will be amazed by how much your energy stays very consistent and your metabolism will be so much happier if we are consistent with food. And so skipping meals is just going to make you more stressed. It's going to make your body more stressed. And it's actually going to cause your body to hold on to body fat because it's not in a not stress state. Like if it's in a stress state and it doesn't know where your next meal is going to be, like no wonder why you're holding on to body fat, because your body doesn't know the next time you're going to give it food. Your body likes patterns. It likes homeostasis. It likes predictability. And so the more that we can do that, the better results that you are going to get. The next thing is to stay away from gimmicky supplements and things that are not going to move the needle forward, but are going to be expensive and a waste of time or money. Metabolism is a very buzzy word. A lot of the things that I've said in this podcast are not anything new or exciting. They are literally just tried and true things that have been kind of neglected throughout the years because of the push of marketing departments to push supplements and to push workouts and to push now different medications to boost your metabolism, when in reality, the basic things that I have been mentioning in this podcast are the only things that are truly going to move the needle forward when it comes to your metabolism. Taking a supplement, taking a gummy, taking just a tea that's going to boost your metabolism, that is not really going to move the needle forward. Yes, it maybe could, like a teeny bit. I don't even know. No, I take that back. It's not going to move the needle forward. Eating enough is going to move the needle forward. Working out is going to move the needle forward. Managing your stress is going to move the needle forward. And you have got to be cognizant of all of the different gimmicky things that are absolutely going to destroy your progress and be something that is not conducive towards your goals. And you're literally just flushing money down the toilet, if I'm being honest as well. Like it's not going to be something that you're going to take a gummy and have this fast metabolism. You're just going to continue to feel like you're in this cycle of trying things and then it not working, when in reality, we could just buckle down on these basics. And this is really what's going to help to speed up your metabolism. The next thing is to stay patient and be consistent. This is not going to happen overnight. Your metabolism takes time. Just like it took time to get to a spot where you feel like it's very slow and not moving and not operating properly, it's going to take some time to get it to a spot where it's thriving and operating and amazing. And I would say most of my clients that we have a goal of really working on their metabolism, it does take months, if not years, in order to completely repair a lot of the metabolic damage that has been done from years of diet culture, years of under eating, years of doing things that make their body very inflamed, like over exercising and not sleeping and not managing their stress. Like all of that stuff takes time to undo. And so we really have to be patient and consistent, and it's not going to be something that just all of a sudden speeds up overnight. It's not like we're taking a pill that's speeding up our metabolism, like it's going to take time and it's going to be through habits, not these quick fixes or hacks or medications. It's going to be something that you build the foundations, you really rewire your mindset around food and your relationship with that. And so I really want you to keep that in mind, is that this is like with any fitness goal, is going to take time, but it's going to be worth it. There is nothing better than having a fast metabolism, not having to worry so much about food, not having to worry so much about hours and hours and hours of cardio. It is so much better to live in a spot where your metabolism is thriving and happy and excited. And like I said, this is my bread and butter. This is what I do every single day with my clients. So if this is something that you want to work on more with a targeted approach, feel free to apply for my program. I have a couple of spots for women wanting to get ready for summer or just like feel good on their own and be able to have a thriving metabolism. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. It was kind of a quick one here today, but I feel like it was a quick and powerful one for you all. So have a good rest of your day, and I will chat with you all next week.